I just wanted to say I'm here representing a special interest group, too. It's the workers of this country, the workers who have lost jobs because we do not have a functioning EXIM bank, the workers whose opportunity to earn a living has been compromised because we don't have an EXIM bank that is functioning. The workers who are now handed a big 50-pound weight against a Chinese worker when the Chinese are pumping money into their export agency and competing unfairly because we don't have an EXIM bank. Can we just for a minute be for the workers? The EXIM bank does not cost the taxpayer and has not cost the taxpayers a dime. In fact, it returns money to the Treasury. It is a win-win. But yet here we are, based on strictly ideological grounds, arguing the value of the EXIM bank. You know, my colleague from Pennsylvania said he wants reforms. Let me tell you, we passed, in an effort that I led, we reauthorized the EXIM bank. That was a big fight. That was not a little deal. That was a big fight. In fact, we had to hold up votes on TPA so we could get a commitment on reauthorizing the EXIM bank, because you can't authorize trade agreements and then take away an integral part and a necessary part of the trade structure. And that's the EXIM bank. So let me tell you, all of these reforms that we agreed to that were so critical, appointment of a chief ethics officer, appointment of a chief risk officer, forming the risk management committee, pretty important to carry out responsibility. Guess why they aren't being done? Because we don't have a functioning EXIM bank. We do not have what we need to get these actions approved. And so when we go through this whole process and we begin to talk about this and we say this is about reform, no, it's not. This is about saving the taxpayers' money. No, it's not. This is about an ideology. This is about third-party interest groups making this their chief whipping boy inappropriately and stopping American jobs. So let me tell you, we're in some pretty tough times right now with China. Potential of a trade war. Potential to really, I think, hurt our country moving forward for decades to come. Think about that. At a time when we are trying to drive this economy into the 21st century to provide an opportunity for us to actually win in trade. Now, I like to tell young people who come into my office, if you don't remember nothing else about what I talked about, remember the number 5. 5. 95% of the people on this earth do not live in this country. If we're not trading with them, if we're not aggressively using every tool in the toolbox to reach out and trade with them, we're going to lose. And we're not going to lose just in the next 2, 3, 4 years. We're going to lose a whole generation of opportunity and get left behind. And so it is time for us to step up and get a fully functioning EXIM bank. So how do we do that? How do we do that? Well, we approved the 4 nominees that Ranking Member Brown has advanced and who have been stopped. The 4 nominees, incredibly well qualified. They had a great hearing. Mr. President, you sit on that committee with me, you know how incredibly qualified they are. But yet, because of a minority opinion, we're held off again. We don't have a bank that's working. And people who work for that bank, who have developed relationships, developed expertise, they've waited too long. We are losing every day. We're losing this piece of trade infrastructure that is absolutely critical to the competition for American businesses. And so let's talk about what we're up against. The lack of the EXIM board quorum has left $44 billion of exports on the table. Can't get approved because we don't have a quorum. Okay, so big number, big number. You know what's a bigger number? When you take that and you translate it to American jobs, it's 250,000 American jobs that are going to be lost. that are going to be diverted to other countries because we are in this petty squabble right here with a minority group of people. And so when we look at this, I want to just add some other pieces here. You know, I think every day that passes without a quorum, Congress is risking these deals. And so let me tell you some of these deals. Mack Trucks, they can't export Pennsylvania manufactured vehicles to Cameroon. A U.S. engineering company can't build a highway in Mozambique. A major petrochemical project in Egypt is on hold, and an energy project in Mozambique cannot be finalized. Hoffman International, a small business in New Jersey, can't finalize a deal with the government of Cameroon. If we're not trading, we're losing in this country. And if we don't have an EXIM bank, we don't have a fully functioning trade apparatus. That's the truth. And so it is time we put aside this petty squabble. And I want to just remark briefly that when we started this, I was told, when we started the reauthorization effort, I was told there's no way. You can't get the majority opinion. The EXIM Bank got almost 70 votes here, almost 70 votes for reauthorization. When it went over to the House, where we were told once again, we could never get the political support for reauthorization. It's too toxic. It's too high profile. Guess what? 70% of the House of Representatives voted for the EXIM Bank. We are being held captive. 250,000 American workers are being held captive by an ideology that is going to fail us and doom our export effort to failure for not just the next couple years, for a generation to come. And the whole while, you know what China's doing? When China's growth took a little dip, they pumped even more billions of dollars into their EXIM bank, into their EXIM credit agency. Do you think they did that because they thought it was a worthless gesture? No, they did it because they knew they could compete against us. Let's not fail these 250,000 workers. Let's not fail to be smart in our competition with China. Let's get this done. And the only way to get it done is to get a quorum on the EXIM Bank. And the only way to get a quorum is to break the deadlock that is here and stop leading with ideology, start leading with common sense, start leading with the opportunity to respond to one of the most significant special interest groups in this country, and that's the American worker. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.